Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar presentation on the ROI of EnergyCAP. My name is Amber Artrip, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at EnergyCAP. And today I'm joined by our Senior Product Marketing Manager, Sarah Uranowski. Thanks for being here, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here.
First, we'll address a few housekeeping items before we get into the presentation. First off, this webinar is being recorded and will become available on energycap.com within 24 hours. And also, we will be taking questions throughout the presentation, so please use the questions bar at the bottom of the Zoom webinar, and we will try to get to as many questions at the end of the session as we can. And with that, let's get into it. First, I want to just, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with EnergyCAP, I wanted to share a little bit about who we are and what we do. EnergyCAP is the #1 trusted energy and sustainability ERP. We have been in this business of energy and sustainability data for the last 40 plus years. We have over 10,000 energy and sustainability users in our software. We've processed over $20 billion of bills annually, and we help our clients achieve massive savings, verified annual savings of over 500 million. And so really at the end of the day, who we are at EnergyCAP is we work with customers to take their energy and sustainability data that's oftentimes in silos and spreadsheets and hidden across various teams and departments and bring that all together in a single source of truth where we can help our clients better manage consumption, reduce carbon, and drive savings across our organization. How do we do that? We do that through our solution suite of products. We've got Carbon Hub over here, which is our financial grade greenhouse gas accounting solution. EnergyCAP UtilityManagement, our portfolio level energy and sustainability reporting solution. EnergyCAP Smart Analytics, which provides that real-time energy and sustainability data to dive deep into your operations and respond quickly. And then at the bottom there, you can see we also offer capture services for clients who want a little extra support in capturing this information and data and ensuring the accuracy. We can provide offerings such as our bill capture, premium service, bill processing, and other managed services to help you ensure that that data that you're pulling into our system is accurate and trustworthy. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Sarah, who's going to walk you through some of the findings.
Yep, perfect. Thank you so much, Amber. And one of the most important things, we know that folks today are juggling a lot, right? Your building portfolio, all of your energy data, you're working hard to hit sustainability goals, spend less money, all of these things. And the single most important part of that when you're talking about sustainability success is, number one, do you have the tools that you need? And number two, are you getting the most out of them? So this is especially true for your energy management software. And we know anecdotally, Amber talked about some of our amazing products and the savings that we have verified and offered. We hear every day from our customers about how they're using fewer manual processes, they're saving money, they're out of spreadsheets, all of these wonderful things. But knowing that anecdotally, knowing that internally, it's not enough. We need to make sure that when you're making decisions about implementing a utility bill software, a greenhouse gas management software, or a real-time energy data solution, right, that you understand all of those vital pieces, the ROI, the specific cost savings that you can see from those tools. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And to that end, we surveyed our customers and we had responses from a broad range of industries. And we asked them to share whether at all and how much they're saving in cost and in time since they've begun using EnergyCAP UtilityManagement. And we have amazing customers. We received tons of responses from more than 50 individual organizations. Also, conveniently, it was about a 50-50 split of folks who are and are not subscribed to our bill capture services. So that was great for comparison. Um, and also, as Amber has really hit home, we've been around a long time, right? These responses represent not just a snapshot of our data right now from our customers, but 40 years of that customer data. We have responses from folks, individuals who have been with EnergyCAP for 20 plus years, so decades. And we've seen those folks transform individually and their organizations. They have saved literally millions of dollars over the time that they've been with us. And, we've seen them get promoted, advance their sustainability programs, bring EnergyCAP along with them as they went from organization to organization. So it's really a testament to years and years, not just this snapshot, but literally decades of this data. A couple of notes are about our methodology. So most of the time when we had multiple responses from a single organization, they matched. They were the same, which makes sense. A couple of times they didn't. And in that case, we decided to take the less favorable response. We did not want to overinflate or overestimate the benefits of EnergyCAP utility management. And we crunched some numbers. You're going to see some asterisks in this presentation along with the literature that goes with it. And all that means is we took literally the mean response, the average response, and that's it. Everything else is exactly what was reported, exactly as it came to us from those customers, and we're passing it on to you. So let's start with bill flags or utility bill auditing, right? So what is bill auditing? And bill auditing is a powerful tool that is in EnergyCAP Utility Management that automatically audits every single bill as it gets entered into the platform, and it audits those bills for common issues. Some of those issues are clerical, right? There are things like maybe the due date is incorrect, or it's an early or a late statement date, things that kind of don't make sense. But most of those bill flags are things that have the potential for enormous cost savings. So things like duplicate bills or overlapping bill periods, right? Where your utility might have accidentally tacked on some days to your next bill that you've already paid in your last bill. There's another section that's really important about abnormal use, cost, and demand. That's where you can start looking internally at your building portfolio and saying, there might be a leak here. Theft actually is another one. We've had customers identify utility theft, issues with equipment timing. Hey, this building is spending, or we're spending a lot of money here that, we really shouldn't, or this particular month was much higher. Why is that? And that's where you really start to see the potential for savings, and you get that low-hanging fruit because it's right there for you. Hey, there is an issue here. Also, cost mismatch is another good one. So the calculated total at the bottom of that bill does not match those individual charges. And maybe, again, accidentally, incidentally, your total might be more than you actually should be paying. So instead of you having to comb every bill that comes into your system, all of those things are going to be automatically pulled out for you. So you can see most of our customers are flagging about 1 to 4% of the monthly bills that come in. And I want to note, this is not the total number of bills that are flagged in utility management for these customers. This is the number that are flagged that they are acting on to save money and save cost and usage every month. So these are the bills that are really making the impact. Most folks are finding that 1 to 4% of the time, with the overall average being around 4.7%, just under 5%. 15% of our customers are having more than 10% of their bills flagged every month with actionable items. So basically, by auditing, we are floating those issues to the top. 10% or more of your bills could end up having actionable issues every single month, at least 1 to 4%. So this is, again, literally hands-off, automated. There's absolutely nothing you have to do to start getting this information, and you can start saving money. We asked our customers what features, what parts of utility management are the most impactful, where do they save the most money? We have tons of other amazing features, but this survey really focused on what is actively saving you cost and usage. And these aren't in any particular order, these were the top 6. The first being reports and dashboards. So the visualization and reporting capabilities in EnergyCAP Utility Management, which are candidly unparalleled. One of the amazing things is every single group within your organization. So your finance folks, your facilities guys, your sustainability gals, all of these people, they need the same data, but they're not going to slice and dice it the same way. They're not looking for the same outcomes. They're not looking at the same pieces. And with EnergyCAP Utility Management, it truly is your single source of truth. So all of your reporting needs, all of your data, all of your analysis is coming from these reports and dashboards, which ultimately is, again, floating those issues to the top, saving you time, saving you cost. Cost avoidance, right? So that's my little engineer heart beats loud and proud for cost avoidance, which is also known as measurement and verification. So when you are implementing or planning to implement those energy saving projects, right, that you now know you want to do, you need to quantify how much those projects have reduced your energy use and your spend. And that can be a little bit hard to do. So we at EnergyCAP, we use an industry gold standard process to do that for you called IPMVP. And we do those calculations accurately and correctly. So again, you have a full understanding of the impact of your energy projects. And of course, on this slide, bill flags, right? So we talked about this already. No surprise it's here. Fun fact, 98% of our customers take action on at least one bill flag every single month. So effectively, every customer we have acts every single month on at least one bill to save cost, which is why it's very much earned its spot on this list. Workbook exports. So you might want to do some of your work in Power BI, Tableau, Excel, all of those other places. It's extremely easy and simple to do that right inside utility management. Every visual, all that reporting that we talked about, if there are ones that you really like, you want to share, and you don't want to use standard reporting to do that, you just go ahead and export those out. It connects to all your other systems. Project tracking. So you can enter data about, again, those energy use projects, right? We talked about the M&V portion. You can enter some data about those projects. And then we actually incorporate them into an energy use intensity chart, which is this really beautiful bird's eye view of your energy use over time. And we can actually implement the start and finish of those projects into that chart. So you can directly see, not just you, but your stakeholders can really see where and how those projects are visually making a difference. And again, you're tracking that savings. Benchmarking is another very, very popular one. And last but not least, certainly on this list. So you can stack and compare your buildings apples to apples. It helps you, again, find those issues. And also internally in EnergyCAP Utility Management, there are infinite criteria for comparison, because not only do we provide you with all of the sort of basic standard stuff like cost per area or use per day, those kinds of things, you can customize them. You can create your own benchmarking groups. You can create your own benchmarking criteria, and do it any way you want. This is also where our EPA Energy Star Portfolio Manager direct interface lives. So if you submit to ESPM because you want to or because you need to, for mandate purposes, then you can automate those submittals. connect these two systems in a few clicks, see your Energy Star scores, and basically automate that complete process right in EnergyCAP Utility Management. We are 6-time Energy Star Partner of the Year award winners. So we're here to help you with that every step of the way. And the bottom line about all these features is they are all designed implicitly to save you cost, to impact the time that you spend, to have a positive impact on your organization. And they're going to be different for every organization, right? But you kind of get them all and you get to pick and choose. So it's up to you. Okay, so time savings. What are we talking about when we're talking about time savings? And basically, we're talking about employee time not spent in spreadsheets, not spent cobbling together a DIY approach to all of that energy and sustainability data that's coming into your system, not trying to manually calculate how much you hope you might save with your energy projects, those sorts of things. And you can see with the graph that most of our customers are saving somewhere between 10 and 40 hours a month. So generally speaking, 10 to 40 hours. At least 40 hours are being saved by about a quarter of our customers. So 40 hours plus. And if you want to speak strictly in averages, the average time saved across the board was 23 hours, which equates to about 7 weeks annually, if you are, of course, are looking at a 40-hour work week, which is amazing. That's awesome. That powers up even more when you add bill capture services. Of course it does, right? So when you do that, you're talking about time saving equivalent of 11 weeks a year. So almost a full quarter of your employee time every year coming back to you because they're not doing those manual processes. They're not worrying about entering those bills. They're not doing any of that. And really the question is just, what do you want to do with that time? You know, what impacts can you have? Where can your employees learn and grow? And what other things would you change about your organization if you weren't spending an entire quarter of your employees' time doing manual things that you can then hand off and have someone else do?
Or where
So,
would you go on vacation? Maybe.
yep, exactly. Yep. Where would you go? What wonderful things would you do? How much less stressed? How much less, how much more balanced would your folks feel?
But really, I
So
think it comes back down to the savings, right? Because when you have more time on your hands and you're not spending this time double checking, triple checking spreadsheets, you can actually do the important work to identify those energy hogs in your operations, right? And
exactly.
that's really where we start to see people accelerate savings.
You get that impactful work. Yep. And speaking of cost savings there, I did a little bit of math. So 1 in 12 of our customers are seeing more than 60 hours of time saved every month. This is about 20 weeks of employee time. And if you take the average salary of an energy or finance manager here in the United States, it's roughly $45,000. So just in your employee time alone, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars back. So there's another kind of savings that I want to talk about as well. And that is, of course, actual savings to your utility bills. We've talked about how to do that with bill flags and some of our other amazing features, but what specifically does that look like? How much? And the short answer is this is where we look at that beautiful purple bar and we see that the vast majority of our customers are seeing 10% or more year-over-year savings annually on their utility bills after they implement EnergyCAP Utility Management. So if you take the average, right, so that beautiful purple bar and all the bars below, the actual average is 7.5%. But as you can see, the responses are skewed heavily to that 10% plus. And that makes sense, right? Because we did some of the math, and Amber, you talked about this earlier. And if you look at our collective customer base, you're talking about over the years, 8 billion with a B, savings on their utility bills. And that was just the past few years, if you look at our customer base, which is amazing. So kind of similar question, right, to the last slide. What would you do with that 10% of your utility spend back in your pocket? What tools would you buy? How much headcount would you add? All of those things, if you had that kind of money back in your pocket. And another important note I want to make here as well, you can see on the right side of this slide, there was a study done a couple of years ago by Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. The study was called Proving the Business Case for Building Analytics. And that study had responses from approximately 100 organizations. So order of magnitude, very similar, very apples to apples with the study that we did. And in that, they asked about savings and annual savings on energy bills, and the average that they found was 3% year over year. And that has kind of become the gold standard, right, of defining energy savings at that 3%. We were thrilled and just over the moon to see that our customers are saving 2.5 times that amount. So they're at 7.5% on average, with, again, a whole lot of folks seeing even more than that. So 2.5 times the gold standard for this type of savings. Amazing to see. So exciting. And let's talk a little bit about bill capture. So we talked about bill capture services earlier, right? And the savings that you can see. What are they? Or what is bill capture services? And that is our specialized utility bill processing service. So this is where you hand all of the entry of your utility bill data into EnergyCAP Utility Management over to us. There's a lot of ways to get that data into the system, but if you don't want to deal with any of those, you can just rest easy knowing that your energy data is going to show up in the platform accurately, timely, audited, all of these wonderful things. That's where bill capture services comes in and makes that happen. And knowing that, right, that you're handing some of those, even more of those manual processes off, it's no surprise that the results are more time savings. So when you add bill capture services, it's taking all of that to the next level. You're going to see about 4 times the number of bill flags. And that's saying something, because even without bill capture services, the amount of bill flags are incredible and they're saving millions of dollars. And up to 30 more hours of time saved, employee time saved every month. Again, when you add bill capture, we have 1 in 7 customers seeing more than 60 hours of time savings. So if you want to free up even more time, if you want to up that impact even more, come talk to us about bill capture services. That's a good way to do that. And finally, the big drum roll, please, the big question, right, is ROI. So when do our customers see a complete ROI on EnergyCAP Utility Management? That's really, really important. How many months until that savings that you get from implementing all of these wonderful things outweighs the cost of the software? And I do want to say also, in our study, this is the sum total cost. So this is your one-time costs, your reoccurring costs. We're not trying to trick you and say, in 24 months, whatever, you can pay back EnergyCAP, but really it's just the implementation. There's other fees. This is the sum total cost of the system. And the short answer here, the ROI on average for folks is 2 years and change. So I want to note that study, that Berkeley study that we talked about earlier, the ROI that they found on average is right in this exact time frame. So right around that 2-year mark. And we're around 2 years and change. So exactly what you would expect to see, except that nearly a quarter of our customers see that ROI in a year or less. So when you're looking at that, right, your utility, it makes sense, because your year over year utility bill savings, that 7.5% is outstripping the average. So of course you're getting more back. You're going to see that ROI in a shorter amount of time. And again, it's the question, like, what do you want to do with that? In the next year, like a year or less, you could be implemented, up and running with EnergyCAP, saving money, saving time, letting us do the hard work for you, identifying all of those bill issues for you, Or you could be kind of where you are today, which is probably doing a lot of that stuff manually, doing it by hand. So you could also implement a different system, right? There are other solutions out there, and you can get that industry standard 3%. Or you can talk to us, you can come to EnergyCAP and start talking about 7.5 or 10 or more percent, and really amplifying that, and just getting on a journey to true savings and really maximizing your, as we talked about in the beginning, right? Knowing exactly how much, where you're going to get that return and what you're going to do with it, and taking your program to the next level. So that covers the study. That pretty much covers what we've talked about here today. And again, in short, when you implement EnergyCAP Utility Management, you're going to see a lot of good things. You're going to have some exciting stuff happen. So at least 7.5%, or right around 7.5%, probably more like 10+% of your utility bill spend, you're going to take action on bills that are flagged every single month. It's going to save you money, and you're going to stop performing manual processes. You're going to stop having to deal with that siloed work because you have your single source of truth, and you're going to save time across the board at your organization. And if you want to tack on bill capture services, you're going to amplify all of that time savings times 4 or times 5. So exciting things will happen for you. And we were thrilled again to see this in the results. It was a true privilege to put this together, because our customers are so great, and the results that we saw were so exciting.
It is so exciting. Amazing job on this, Sarah, too. And I think the really awesome thing for me to see as an environmentalist is like, this is incredible because it's cost savings, time savings. But I think what's also not captured here is the reduction of emissions into the environment because of all of this work, right? So it's just really great to see a win-win-win across the board. It's good for the environment. It's good for your wallet. It's good for the team, right? It's all of these things. So really exciting to see it all.
It's good for our customers' customers.
That's right.
You know, the goodness continues to flow for sure.
Great. And I think with that, we're going to open it up to a few questions. We did want to make the ebook available. So if you wanted to take a deeper dive into all of the great content that Sarah just walked us through, you can use the QR code here and download the ROI of EnergyCAP ebook from our website. You can also access it from energycap.com in our resources section. But let me take a look here at some of the questions that are coming through. Okay, the first one is, what sets apart an average energy efficiency strategy from a great one? Good question.
Oh, that's a really good question. The short answer is a well thought out one, and one with the actual time and resources to implement it. So, so we see from customers all the time, like our customers that really shine, it's when they take back the time from their manual processes, and they invest that time, they reinvest that time into identifying those energy hogs, right? Finding there's no bad buildings, but there are buildings that could be improved or maybe are lower performing. So you really take a look, again, you start your benchmarking, you do those things, and you prioritize your improvement projects. And when you're able to do that, to identify the low-hanging fruit and actually dedicate the resources to improve those areas because you have the funds, because you're saving money, because it was easy to find them, that's really where your greatness is. And also one last thing is, buildings are alive. They're living ecosystems, right? You don't make a choice one time for one building today, and then you're set for life on your strategy, right? Your energy management strategy is evolving constantly, and it needs to be. It needs to change. It needs to update. So that definitely is a great strategy versus a good one. And to be able to continuously monitor, to be nimble. And you need really a platform that's growing with you to do those things, like EnergyCAP Utility Management. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just the time and the resources, not only to identify it, but actually work with it.
Yeah, and I'll just add, we're storytellers, so we always think about the story first. I think some of the best um, strategies I've seen end with the great storytelling. Don't forget to show off. Don't forget to capture the measurement and verification of your projects and visualize that in dashboards and charts and reports that you can share with key stakeholders to really show off your work. Because what you're doing is really important, like we said, from all of these aspects, from a cost savings, from a time savings, from a carbon emissions reductions perspective. Make sure you're showcasing that. Some of the best strategies we've seen and some of the best organizations we've observed do that really well. Okay, we got another question from the field. Do we have any examples of customers who are using their data in EnergyCAP for improved efficiency projects and a better sustainability strategy? Yes. I mean, obviously, all of the customers who completed the survey have seen some form of savings, but we do connect with our customers on a regular basis to try to capture some of these specific stories, specific highlights. You can check out our website. We have case studies listed on our website as well, where we highlight a lot of these stories and some video testimonials. But one that sticks out to me is the University of Texas Medical Branch. They've been a client since 2018, and they've actually implemented all of our solutions from EnergyCAP UtilityManagement and also Smart Analytics for that real-time data and Carbon Hub and bill capture. So they're using the full suite of EnergyCAP, and what's been really cool is to watch how they've really utilized all of the products and solutions that we offer to just become a data-driven operation when it comes to energy. They even use EnergyCAP solutions when applying for grants. So they applied for a very particular IRA federal grant to replace a facility on site that's a little bit outdated. And so they're using our software to prove, hey, if we were to make this change, we would see X amount of emissions reduction, we would see X amount of cost savings, the return on investment would be in X amount of time. So really becoming data-driven in all of the ways that they run their operations. And I think we have that story featured on the website as well, if you want to dig into that a little bit more. Let's see. I think we probably have time for one more question. What are some key considerations buyers should make when selecting energy and sustainability software? Good one.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good one. Okay, so let's start with your energy data, right? Where that energy data comes from, and it's coming in from all over. So you have meter data, you have weather data, you have probably time series data or real-time data, utility bill data, which, as we talked about with bill flags, it might not always match your actual meter data. So buildings are just absolute treasure troves of data, which is, I'll say, a blessing and a curse, right? So streamlining that data. If you're looking for a really successful tool, something that can really streamline that data, capture it, and make it easy for everyone across all of your sectors, all of your business pieces to slice and dice it, use it as they need it. Another thing is definitely like the reporting and the analytics. So data is complicated, right? I just talked about that. So to simplify it, visualize it, automatically put it into the formats that you want to see or need to see, or that your stakeholders need to see. So you can submit it to regulatory authorities, things like that. Actually, and Amber, this kind of goes to what you said about showcasing your successes and having ways to do that and really visualize it. Another one that comes to mind for me is the city of Philadelphia, who has this incredible public facing website that is powered by EnergyCAP. And it's a snapshot of their entire sustainability program, benchmarking, information from the EPA, where they're, having their successes, how they're rating their buildings, all these kinds of things. It's all right there. So that data, again, is coming in from different areas, and they're reporting it, analyzing it, and communicating it out. And then I think the last thing I would say is just scalability, which I think I talked about in an earlier answer as well. Your org is going to grow. That's what you want, and it's going to change. And not just you, but regulations, right? The landscape of your business is going to change, and you need a tool. So one of the issues we see with a lot of folks who self-execute, who bring someone in, or internally they develop a program to do some of these things internally, that's great, and it might do what you need it to do, but as the regulatory landscape changes, or as you grow, you don't have someone pushing updates. You don't have a product team that is doing this incredible work, that's adding features all the time, that's actively and proactively taking customer feedback, creating new features, or improving features based on what they say, and handing those back out to you literally without you having to even do anything. There's no changes on your part. That's scalability. So when you have a real partner to do that with you, and you grow, they grow with you. So I think probably those are the three really key things that I would say if you're looking at a sustainability and utility data platform that you really want to take a look at.
Yeah. And I'll just add, I think it's really important to get out there and talk to other folks who are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
See how they're doing it, see what tools they're using it, whether they enjoy using those tools or not. We've got a ton of resources on our website of our happy customers. And so check out, some of the reviews on G2, check out reviews on Capterra, software reviews, and get out there and talk to people and see what's working for them and what's really moved the needle for them. I think, we've found when we get folks together, that's really when the magic happens, and best practices are shared. So good luck on your journey. We are here to help. If you do have any questions, check out our website, energycap.com. Reach out to us, fill out a contact us form or demo request. We'd be happy to walk you through some of our solutions. And yeah, just want to thank you for your time today. Thank you, Sarah, for doing an excellent job of walking us through all of the awesome findings from our survey. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. And we will see you on the next webinar.
Yep. Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Amber.
Sure.